Hey guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I am so excited right now to share with you about the Alternative Health and Learning Center vision. This is something that the world needs tremendously. Basically, it's a plan of evangelism that's broken up into 3 stages. Stage number 1 is primarily focused for evangelism for the public audience, using health as an entering wedge to minister to their physical needs and educate them. 2 is to develop missionaries and train the people out of stage 1 who are interested in sharing with other people and repeating this and communicating it to others so that they learn in stage 2. And then stage 3 is duplication. It's going out and starting other learning centers in every city in the world. Yes. Now let's go into a little bit more detail on stage 1. The target audience is health-minded public, so people from different like Hindu, atheist, New Age backgrounds, all sorts of different backgrounds, whoever it is, Christian, Catholic, whatever, we're able to interest them by holding, by having a prominent focus on health education. Like disease, its cause, prevention, and cure, to be able to do practical hands-on training, whether that's natural remedy applications, cooking classes, hydrotherapy, treatments, whatever the case is, educating the people how to take care of the sick and do health meetings that may not be extremely religious, but will be very attractive to people using health to draw them in. We're going to locate them on evangelistic days, such as Sunday or Thursday. These are very great days to do evangelism, not on Sabbath during church or Wednesday night where prayer meetings are usually done. Do it on Sundays, which people are interested in health, or Thursdays for things of that nature. And they're located in non-threatening locations. So sometimes it's hard to bring people to a church, but we can start them off by bringing them to a building such as a bank, a hotel, someone's house, um, meeting halls, like business offices or other offices, libraries, different options, non-threatening locations where we can help hold these meetings. There's a lot of free options and there's a lot of simple paid options. You can even charge for doing cooking classes. You can use it as an industry and the ways to be able to be self-supporting, um, if that's something that would be able to help. So basically, a learning center is not a church. It's an opportunity to reach people from other religions. It's friendly to all religions. It's kind of like a school. It uses health to attract others um, to want to learn more, and that's what the meetings are for. So it's educating people in terms of health physiology and how to take care of themselves. Now, that's stage 1. And out of stage 1, this is going to be like a funnel where people are invited to as you go throughout work and as you talk to people, as you meet others, and you see people are interested. You're like, oh, you've got to check out the Learning Center. We're doing health meetings and have consistent, regular meetings that people are able to constantly be promoting and funneling people to learn more about as they go throughout the week. So it's a great place as like the first exposure to invite their friends or family or loved one to go learn about health in a non-threatening um, location. Then out of that, you're going to find people that are interested in sharing with others, interested in sharing the truth or the gospel, or being, um, taking these interests from stage 1 and doing Bible readings and holding these lessons with them. So stage 2 is missionary training. And we don't necessarily tell all the attendants on stage 1. We don't tell the public that the missionary trainings are necessarily taking place here, but the people that show interest, then we bring them over, we train them for true medical missionary work, we give them Bible work training, We give them some assignments, so like short speeches, creating their active candidate list or their contact list of who they're going to reach out to, giving them a specific Bible or a health subject that they study and share, while equipping them how to study the Bible for themselves, and how to maybe even pick a disease of someone they love and make it very relevant to study that out, and then give presentations during stage one, while we're going to have evaluated speeches where we are, testing for their grammar, the general evaluation of how they delivered, how many times. Like, we're gonna have a designated awe counter where they count like ah, ums, uhs, ands, and odd pauses, and make sure that their timing does well. These are some of the activities, and it's inspired by a nonprofit called Toastmasters. I'm not sure if you know about Toastmasters, but Toastmasters is a website that is, their sole purpose is to develop public speakers and leaders. As you can see, where leaders are made. And so basically what they do is they gather a group of people who, like an audience together, and then they set you, a missionary, in front of them to address the audience, to, to teach them whatever you want to do. They don't judge you on what you say or the content that you share. They um, they judge you on your delivery, how you shared, whether you made eye contact, your use of the stage, and your, they judge you on different things like that. So Toastmasters is really awesome because you can go there and say, hey, I am a medical missionary and I am seeking to improve my skills so I can share medical missionary work with others. That way, when it's your turn to give a speech, 5, 10, 15, 30-minute speech, you're able to, they're expecting content that's going to be Bible-based or health-based, and you're evangelizing. You preach to them. You can share your testimony. You can share Christ. You can share the cross. And this nonprofit, they gather the audience and then they put you as a speaker. I believe all of God's people should be going to Toastmasters, one, for training, and two, for just the opportunity to share. It's amazing. And they have literature and pamphlets to develop your voice culture and be a better speaker. They've got paths to help you, whether you want to start a podcast or whether you want to speak online or whether you want to address your church, be a salesman or be a presenter, a mentor, a coach, whatever specific type of leadership you want, they help you to develop in that. And I originally learned it from an elder at my church, and he's like, yeah, I went there and I would highly recommend people go. And I'm like, whoa, I want to check that out. I was doing a prayer meeting over in Vallejo, California when I was 17, and then I went back home. I went to Toastmasters. They said I was too young, so I stopped thinking about it until I was 22, and then I started going to one, and wow, I mean, we were able to quickly gain influence in the area. The people really respected us. They loved hearing our speeches. They loved hearing our testimonies. We were able to share Christ and the Bible, and we brought a team of medical missionaries from Walks with God Ministries outpost, and it was a really good experience. I would recommend other people do that. And so that's what Toastmasters is. But basically, what the Alternative Health and Learning Center stage 2 would incorporate that a little bit to develop people on how they can give their presentations more effectively. And we'll have different people taking turns on, evaluating whoever's doing the speech. And it'll be a great opportunity, good experience in a safe environment. We can give them mock trials of their faith, for like when we're going to have to stand before kings and judges and rulers and throw out a Bible verse and say, whoa, why do you believe this? And then have them answer, but under um, a safe environment. We can give them medical related challenges or assignments or quick responses, and missionary related Bible work, different things like that. Stage 2, the missionaries in training will be able to plan for increase, improvement, and method and efficiency of stage 1 and how to do that effectively. That's what we'll be able to use that for. And this is where you could do the flyers and distribution and content and outreach and just making sure everything's getting done. And so we have is where people can learn how to study and find questions to their own personal questions, and then questions that other people are asking them. And this allows people to not have to spend so much time in schools, but it's something that they can incorporate in their daily life, in their week, and as coming to like a midweek service to train and develop people. And we could also work with parents to teach them how to work for their children and to do things like that. Now, stage 3, this is the end goal. This is the purpose of a learning center, is to start other learning centers. A lot of times as churches, we forget our purpose. The Church of Christ was organized for missionary purposes. A working church is a living church. And Paul, he labored in the church of Corinth for 1.5 years, raised up a flourishing church, and moved on to start other churches. You look at the example of Paul, and he's just going from place to place, starting churches, and that's what he does. Now, this is different. We're not starting churches, we're starting learning centers. And these learning centers are a supportive ministry of whatever the local church is, but it's a funnel, it's a source to gather leads for the church, leads for Bible studies, leads for follow-up, and it's a learning center to develop missionaries and leaders to follow up with those leads. And ultimately, to go forth, what we're going to do is choose those who are capable, who are well-trained, to use them to go out and start other churches. You can take like a mother loaf. You have this loaf that you take a little chunk and you start another loaf, and you take a little chunk from the mother loaf and you start another loaf, and you can make this bread all from the same little batch. But the batch has to be big enough before you can afford to take a big chunk out and then bake your bread. So it's a similar concept that we want to have multiple a learning center in every city. And when it comes to large cities, you can have multiple centers in different sections of the cities, in the large cities, like the metropolitan areas. Many small centers, they need to be established rather than a few large centers. If they're small and duplicatable, then we can have them in more cities and a lot faster. It won't take as much means and exhaust so many people. But the challenge is so many people are trying to grow this massive organization and grow this big thing. But if we think smaller and more at scale and more trained and thorough, and go deeper rather or go wider rather than deeper, then we'll be able to start sister learning centers in nearby cities wherever people can learn how to do these evangelism and then share the talent to go back and forth and to support one another. But the concept is basically all these alternative health and learning centers are like on a franchise model. Think about McDonald's and how they're able to develop systems and plans to just kind of like hand over to someone and then educate them how to effectively um, operate, manage, start, and scale learning centers in their cities and in their places of influence. So they're called centers because it's from here they're able to branch out or springboard into doing other evangelistic reach. And it's learning because they're actually learning medical, physical, mental, and spiritual work. Just like Christ's ministry was threefold, it was healing, teaching, and preaching in that order. And these could be done in homes. They can be done in central locations, but somewhere non-threatening, somewhere that's not a church. Don't use a church as a learning center. Use a different building that's not as threatening, and we could train up more people and We can have a website that houses and contains the systems, responsibility descriptions, and programs and schedules, and basically like as many templates and formats that you can just kind of cookie cut to some degree or another in different locations to simplify or inspire or give ideas for programs that people can follow to have successful results, whether they're health fairs or cooking classes or different programs to lead people step by step and create this intentional plan around health evangelism and connected with treatment centers or massage or using whatever. There's a principle I learned that your people are the best asset. So depending on the people that you have involved that are able to help, you can base your program based on that. We'll just gather information to see what worked and what didn't work in different learning centers and grow and scale from there. But as you see, this is the threefold stage of the Alternative Health and Learning Center. I'm going to show you a quick photo that shows you a visual of what this looks like. So in the cities, we want to do house to house work. We want to have churches in the city. That's important. Have treatment rooms like and hygienic restaurants. In connection with the learning centers can be a restaurant and treatment rooms for healing the sick in the cities, places dedicated for this. This is the learning centers I'm describing. And then in the outposts in the country, on the outskirts of the cities, not in the cities, but on the outskirts, where you have easy access to the cities, where you can work them through outposts, is you have um, you have acreage or property that you can grow agriculture. You can do lifestyle center like health retreats that people can come to get healthy and work in the garden for their physical health. Also training for schools and then like publishing houses and food factories that comes from the agriculture. You could do health food ministry. Now these things should be in the country because people are going to have to work in these institutions, and we don't want to encourage people to be moving to the cities and working over there. We want to provide industries that are in the country that God's people are able to operate and be supportive and self-supporting missionaries. And so with the outposts on the outskirts and then the learning centers in the cities, along with the churches and doing house to house evangelism and modern publishing and things, this is God's blueprint for Christian education, for spreading the gospel in many locations, to have outposts and learning centers in every city throughout the land. Just like wherever you see a McDonald's, there's going to be an outpost and there's going to be a an alternative health and learning center. This is the vision of the Alternative Health and Learning Center, and I hope you are as excited as I am, if not more, because this is some amazing stuff. This is what is going to make a powerful difference in the lives of others. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you're most excited about in the comment section, and let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to elaborate, or if you would like to get involved or be a part of this. Just hit me up. I'd love to talk with you and see what we can do to get to finish the work, because the sooner we finish the work, the sooner we can all go home. All right, God bless.